Well, a very good Tuesday, wherever in the world you are and whatever time it is. And today, I wanted to share something that happened to me yesterday, which was a technical glitch and how to handle this if it happens to you. So there I am in Indiana giving a big presentation to a wonderful group of actuaries. Yes, the Society of Actuaries. And zip drive that they had put into the computer for whatever reason didn't want to cooperate with the connection. And all of a sudden, I started off very, very well, and I pressed my video to play. This is about 10 minutes into the presentation, and it just freezes. So what do you do if that happens to you? Now, the first thing I did was just breathe and then tell my audience exactly what was happening. As you can see, we're having a technical glitch, and then carry on with the presentation seamlessly. And what I tend to do is then go into an exercise, which is a pair and share. So talk to the person next to you about. And in that way, people are still interacting, but they're not watching me troubleshoot. And by the time they'd finished the pair and share, someone was able to come in and reconnect the system. What it does when you are presenting information and your technology, which you expected to be seamless, doesn't work, is your brain has to activate and go into another mode, which is you begin troubleshooting. So the challenge is always, how do I focus fully on what I'm presenting, but still deal with the technical challenge? And really my best advice to you all, because so many people in the audience went, this has happened to them, is to stay very calm and also to remember, and this is something so important, is that your audience actually wishes you well. They really are on your side. Somebody phrased it so well. They said your audience is always on your side unless you're a magician. And then they're trying to catch you out. But I want to particularly thank this group of individuals because they were so kind, and I could see that they felt for me. But at the same time, you have a certain amount of time to add value. They've woken up very early in the morning to hear you, and what advice, guidance are you sharing? So I kept that in mind. And then again, just key, let people know what's going on and stay calm. And it is always upsetting. So for those of you who've had some technical glitches, there's a level of, oh, I can't believe this is happening. And there's a level of frustration. And even if you've practiced your presentation, and if the technology was working 5 minutes before, things do happen. So what I was astounded by in that moment was, again, how kind people were and how many people also afterwards came up to me and said, Nadia, thank you for handling that in the way you did. I actually learned from watching how you handled it. Now, again, they didn't know how I was feeling internally, which was a sense of frustration. And of course, we all, I know, all of you, we all want things to be perfect. We all want things to be seamless. But that's not life, is it? And just a word of comfort to you, if you are giving an in-person presentation and there's someone who can assist, then get that person to come in, calmly tell people what's going on, carry on. I also suggest when I'm coaching presenters that you have your presentation in front of you with the slides in order so that, for example, if there is no technology and the PowerPoint does do what it did to me, that you know exactly what's coming next. Now, in this particular presentation, I've done versions of it many, many times, and I was very familiar with what was coming next. But if you are creating something and you've only delivered it once or twice, then have a hard copy in front of you so that if that does happen, you can refer to it. And the other piece of comfort that I want to give you is nobody knows what you didn't say or what you left out. Case in point, yesterday, I was sharing this really adorable video, and it's a video of a school teacher talking to a little boy about his brother who says, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And the teacher then says to the little boy, well, who does your brother know? And the little boy goes, well, my brother doesn't know anybody, and that's why he doesn't have a job. And by the way, I got that lovely video from my friend Deanna, and it was a really adorable video. And because of the way the presentation had happened, I wasn't able to play it. But it's the ability to also go, okay, I didn't play it, but is there another way I can send it on to my audience afterwards? So if you find yourself in a situation like I found myself yesterday, it's to dialogue with yourself and go, the audience definitely got value. Maybe there were moments I would have preferred were more seamless and perfect, but perfection doesn't mean it's any better. So I am sharing this with you today for you as much as for myself to go, how do you handle things going wrong? And whether it's a technical glitch or a room glitch or something happens. I've been in presentations where I had a full 45 minutes and the organizer will go, something has happened or the CEO wants to talk for longer. Can you cut it down to 30 minutes? And to be able to do that, or can you expand your time? So my hope for everyone who's joining me today is to say, if things go wrong, take a breath, do see it as an opportunity. And what was most rewarding, as I mentioned earlier, was just the response from people was not, oh, we noticed there was some issue and there was a loss of connection between your laptop and the screen. That's not what they noticed. They noticed the sense of humor, the transparency, and how it was dealt with. So again, I love, what does Nelson Mandela say? It's one of my favorite quotes. I never lose, I either win or I learn. So what did I learn from that particular moment? And if you are doing a presentation virtually, and again, something happens with your slide share, or something happens with your polling, or whatever it is that you're doing, the same principles apply. Simply to say to people, we seem to have some technical issues. Don't look frustrated, don't look angry, and don't look anxious. We are sorting them out while we sort them out and give people something to do. So my thoughts for the day around handling technical glitches, handling things going wrong, handling maybe even this could relate to handling a particularly difficult question or something you weren't expecting. And it's taking that moment to breathe, respond in a way that is thoughtful. If you do get a question that feels like it is an attack, please remind your brain you are not being attacked. This is simply a person asking a question. And if necessary, say, I look forward to getting back to you on that. There are a couple of things I want to check out before I give you a final answer. So just to recap, if you're just joining me in this live stream, I wanted to share what happens when you have technical glitches, what happens when things go wrong. And the first thing is to stay calm. As I said earlier, remember your audience, be it 1, 10, or in my case yesterday, 100. People are on your side. But what you don't want to do is look anxious, upset, or angry. Give your audience something to do while you troubleshoot. And then see the lesson in it. And, analogous of life, right? Life isn't perfect. Things go wrong. It's not what goes wrong, but how we handle it. Famously, it's not how we fall down, but how we get up. And all of those things come into play. But it's very easy in the exact moment that it happens to literally allow your primitive brain, the amygdala, to hijack the sane rational brain. And then we go into fight, flight, or freeze. And it's to pause, breathe, and remind yourself that this is not a dangerous situation. It's unfortunate, but not to become anxious. So I'm taking a deep breath now. I want to particularly thank each and every person who was in my audience yesterday. You were so kind and so gracious, and we landed up having a wonderful interactive session. And in fact, the technical glitch became a point of learning. So I hope that happens for you. And I know there's so much going on in the world right now that is just complex, what we call VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous, difficult to deal with. And as always, there's so many things we can't control, but what we can control is ourselves and our reactions to things. And I end with favorite quote from Viktor Frankl, who was a Holocaust survivor and psychotherapist, who said, between stimulus and response, there lies a pause. And in that pause lies your power to choose. Wishing you a good